Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be showcasing what is probably the strongest Alpha Bear Dream Realm boss team by our guildmate Splash, who managed to get almost 40 billion damage with his team, putting him rank 1 in the district. So unfortunately Taylene will not be a part of his team. It doesn't seem like Taylene is going to be the strongest option for the Alpha Bear boss, but PHRAESTO is once again one of the best options in Alpha Bear. So as you can see, PHRAESTO contributes a sizable amount of damage here, almost 12 billion damage, Merrily contributing almost 20 billion damage, and Smokey with a very decent 6.5 billion damage. So if you know about Alpha Bear, the common team compositions will all rely around Smokey, Coco, and even Rainier at Mythic Plus if you have Rainier at Mythic Plus. And for the Endless Boss mode, which we're at right now, Merrily and Corin are damage dealers which really shine because they have true damage and they do really well in Endless Boss modes. However, PHRAESTO seems to be even better than running Corin in this team, and we're going to see why. We're going to get right into the run, but basically the formation he has is Smokey in the leading position, which is pretty usual, and then PHRAESTO in the second row. Both him and his illusion, and behind the main PHRAESTO will be the Coco, so that Coco can gain some bonus energy regeneration to cast her ultimate quicker in the battle, and behind the illusion is going to be Rainier, so that Rainier has some damage reduction so that he doesn't die as easily. And Rainier will be buffing up attack of Merrily, and that is basically the formation. And let's watch the battle on 1 times speed. So Merrily gets position swapped into the front line with the attack buff. Both PHRAESTOs come up to the boss and begin attacking for the damage. So in the Alpha Bear boss, because he will stack honey on your team, your healing becomes less effective at some point, and that's why it's really important to have Coco in here for the shields and the damage reduction, because otherwise your team ends up wiping way too quickly. So Smokey and Coco are pretty much must-haves, and Rainier does really well in this boss at Mythic Plus. He's the part of all the top scoring teams. If you have Rainier at Mythic Plus, you should be running him. Merrily is the best damage dealer. If you have to choose one damage dealer who is the best in endless boss modes, Merrily is the top one, because she deals the most true damage of any other hero. So PHRAESTOs are both in the front line, very tanky, very difficult to kill, because when they have their Supreme Plus, they begin the fight with a shield. They also, from the different skills of PHRAESTO, they have bonus defenses when they're both starting in the same line, which they were in this fight. So they're basically never going to go down until the end of the match. And that's probably why this team does so well. It basically no one dies until right towards the end, and Merrily and the 2 PHRAESTOs survive until almost the last final burst of the boss. So Coco is going to get off her ultimate and keep cycling it really well. Coco is still alive even at 30 seconds left into the battlefield, and Rainier has not even gone below 100% health yet. PHRAESTOs contribute so much damage because both him and his illusion have identical stats. They're both able to cast their skills as normal. So it's basically like you have 2 heroes here instead of 1. And they have a lot of damage in their kit, even damage which will be proportional to the opponent's maximum HP in the paralyzing venom. And also they reduce the haste of the boss, which should give you more protection, because then the boss can't cast his skills and ultimate as quickly. So here at 11 or 12 seconds left, both Coco and Rainier, even Smokey, go down, and there's really no way to avoid that. Towards this point is actually usually my team would almost entirely wipe around 10 seconds. So with 5 seconds left, everyone gets destroyed. And I don't think there's any way to survive longer than those final 5 seconds left on the field, because when he goes for that massive damage attack with all the honey stacks on your team, even the really tanky PHRAESTOs go down. So that is how you can maximize the damage here. Evocation spell is going to be the best artifact. In a lot of the Dream Realm bosses, it is the best choice. It gives you periodically shielding, life drain, haste, and attack buffs, and the stats that it provides, HP percent, attack and crit, are all very valuable for surviving longer and also getting off more damage over the course of the fight. So Evocation spell is a really good option. Quick Blade spell is sometimes the choice in certain Dream Realm bosses where you have no issue surviving, but that is pretty much it. So let's go ahead and take a look at some different teams you can run if you don't have PHRAESTO. And so we'll talk about that. Now this is a team I ran, and I did go for the Quick Blade spell because for me, I was like, with the Quick Blade spell, I got off a little bit more damage, and I ended up dying at the same point whether I had Evocation spell or Quick Blade spell, so I decided just go for Quick Blade and see if it can get a little bit higher damage. And it did. But Evocation spell here might, with RNG, allow you to survive a bit longer and get off a higher score. But I stopped after doing a few attempts and getting 37 billion damage. This is the Dream Team. Corrin, Merrily at Mythic Plus both do massive true damage. Smokey will heal and sustain your team and also deal good damage to the boss and give you attack and haste buff to power up your damage. Lucius is really good because of his seasonal skill in the new season, which will boost haste and damage of your team 10 seconds and 40 seconds respectively into the battle if everyone is alive at that point, which they all should be. And he also shields and provides an attack reduction onto the boss, so attack debuff onto the boss, and that can allow you to survive for a bit longer. So he's kind of taking the role of Coco here, and he still does pretty well. Like, honestly, the team survives around about to the same point as with the Coco in here, so Lucius does really well in his role. You need to have one hero tanking the front line. That is essential, because otherwise the boss will deal massive damage to your entire team if there's no adjacent enemy. So you need to have someone like Lucius here. And Rainier at Mythic Plus is the best option. If you don't have Rainier at Mythic Plus, then you have to think of a replacement. And I've tried different options. You can run Kruger here. That would power up the damage of Corrin and Merrily. And I think Kruger is... Well, actually, Kruger might not be the best option because of the fact that you don't want two adjacent enemies or two melee tanks in the front, because then the boss will stack up honey on your team faster. So Coco is probably the safer choice. This is going to be a very solid team. Definitely very strong and basically no chance of wiping. So I would probably go for this with the Quick Blade spell, and that would be my best choice if we didn't have Rainier at Mythic Plus. And if you go for a team like this, you can use Kruger, but then get rid of Lucius and go for a team like this. This will provide physical defense debuffs onto the boss, increasing the physical damage dealt by Corrin and Merrily. So this is a very strong team as well. Those would be what I would go for. If you don't have Corrin or Merrily both at Mythic Plus, for example, or you're kind of early game, you can go for a completely protect the OD comp, which would be something like this. And for the final option, it can be Rainier if you have Rainier at Mythic Plus, or it can just be another backline hero or even another frontline hero. But yeah, you usually don't want to have two melee tanks, so probably it would have to be some sort of backline, maybe even CCF really early game, something like this could be fine if you don't have high ascension levels into heroes. But yeah, you can mix and match from these teams. Evocation spell is good for survivability, but if you want a bit more damage, then Quick Blade spell could be better. But that is pretty much it for the different team showcases we have. Let's just take a look at the team lineup one last time. Yeah, and so PHRAESTO, his Mythic Plus, when it's fully skilled up, like plus 15, he will be able to summon another illusion when the first illusion dies. However, in this Alpha Bear boss, that doesn't come into effect because both PHRAESTO and his illusion get popped at the same time right at the end of the fight when you're completely wiped out. And so if PHRAESTO himself goes down, I don't think he's able to spawn that final... He's not able to spawn that final illusion. So it doesn't matter if his Mythic Plus is at plus 15 or not for this team. But definitely you would want to probably get him to Mythic Plus. If we take a look at his Mythic Plus abilities, I got one copy of PHRAESTO just for, I don't know, maybe I want to do some testing with one copy in the future. But Mythic Plus, the other ones are, yeah, so his Mythic Plus is not so important in this boss fight. It's basically just for increasing his stats. The Supreme Plus is nice because of the shield, but I mean, the shield at the beginning wears off towards the end, and then you're still gonna die around the same time in the end. But this Legendary Plus is really important. The additional physical and magical defense for him and his illusion, and also gaining energy when losing health, this is a key ability. So Legendary Plus for sure you want to get for PHRAESTO, but then maybe you can experiment with this team even before Mythic Plus or Supreme Plus. But anyway guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe because we upload daily AFK Journey content. And tomorrow, Crystal Clash is coming out right at reset. And I'm very excited about that. Can't wait to see how it is and how to optimize that, and then we will be making a video about that pretty shortly after the reset. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.